Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to give a working update on my Commercial KitchenAid along with a bread recipe that my family and I make all the time. It's kind of a dessert bread. So here we go. I've had the Commercial KitchenAid about 1 year now, and so I'm going to make a double batch of my bread. So it's 7 cups of flour. If that helps you kind of gauge, if you're looking to buy a Commercial KitchenAid, how much it can handle. So the description below has a link to the Commercial KitchenAid if you're interested in looking at more of the features that it has. But I do have 7 cups of flour already in the bowl, ready to go. I've got my dough hook on, and I just need to add either it's an eighth of a cup, 2 packets of the instant yeast. I just buy mine in, a big quantity, so I have it in a scooper. But yeah, we're just going to mix this up a little bit. I still just love how quiet this thing is. Okay, so I'm just getting the yeast all kind of mixed in there. And what I'm going to do is I am going to add 2.5 cups of warm water. All right, also into our mix today goes half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to mix that in. A quarter of a cup of vegetable oil. And also a quarter of a cup of honey. This is the sweetener for our sweeter bread today. Now I'm just going to turn it up to 2, the speed 2, and let this mix for about 10 minutes until it's smooth and elastic. Okay, it's been just over 10 minutes. We are ready to go. This is looking really good. I have a bowl behind me, you can see. Okay, what I need to do is just, I have just put some oil in the bowl, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of swish it around a little bit. Move this guy up. All right, so a little bowl, oil in the bowl, and I'm just going to move my dough into the bowl. And then I'm just going to give the dough a turn so that it's all covered in that oil. And then I'm just going to leave it. I like to leave it on my stovetop with my light on just to give a little extra warmth. Cover it up, and then I need to leave that to rise for about 30 minutes. Okay, so while the bread is rising, we're actually going to make a filling, or what I like to swirl into the bread. It is a sweet bread, but I like to add a little bit of, something to it. Sometimes I do like a cinnamon swirl in there. Today I'm going to do a lemon swirl, and then I might even do a couple with some pesto. We'll see what happens there. All right. So I have 6 ounces of cream cheese in my my artisan KitchenAid because I just don't have a small enough bowl for my commercial one to do this. But I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar to my 6 ounces of cream cheese. And then I'm just going to cream this together. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So now I need to just mix in the rest. So what I add to this to make it lemony is some lemon zest. So I've got zest from 1 lemon. And then I also put the juice from that lemon in there. I tried it with just the zest one time and it just wasn't quite as lemony as I liked. And then I'm also going to add 1 egg yolk to this. And I'm just going to mix this all together. All right, that looks good. So now this is all ready to be swirled into our bread once it's done rising. All right, it has been about 30 minutes, and there we go. Bread's looking nice and risen. Now, we need to divide this into 8 pieces. I like to weigh mine. Some people will call that a little too ridiculous, but I do. If you've seen my other episodes of this, you know I'm pretty terrible at dividing things, so I weigh it. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to cut off a chunk, and then with my lightly floured surface, I just kind of give it a general kneading just to get into a normal shape. And I'm going to roll this out into kind of a rectangle. Really about the length of my rolling pin. And not quite as wide. All right, now that's where we put our filling. So like I said, you could put pretty much anything. Lemon, cinnamon, yeah, have at her. And now here's the baker's trick. Get a little bit of water and just wet your fingers and then just brush it along the outside edge of the bread. This will help the bread kind of stick together when you roll it better. Trust me, if you don't do this part, I mean, the swirl will be fine. They just do tend to come apart a little bit easier. All right, and then just roll her on up. If you roll it loosely, the bread can rise a little bit easier. Okay, and now you just kind of pinch her closed. And there's your loaf of bread. Take it, and we're just going to put it on our tray. And then we do that all again. All right, I did also say we would try some pesto ones. So I'm just going to put a little pesto in the middle. See how that works out. I've never actually used pesto in this recipe, but it's that season and I wanted to give it a try. So let's do that. You do the same thing and put a little bit of the water around the edge and roll it up just like my lemon ones. See what happens. It's bound to be good, right? Okay, I have all 8 of my breads ready to go. Now I just need to cover them up with a dish towel and leave them to rise for another 30 minutes. Okay, it has been another half hour. My bread has risen and is ready to go in the oven. I do have my oven set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I have a GE double oven. If you're interested in the product model number or whatever, I will put that in the description. So I do have the convection bake going because I have 2 trays and I can bake them both at the same time. We're going to bake these for 20 minutes. I like to switch the trays right at about 8 minutes left in baking, and then they get equally brown. So let's put those in. All right. There they are. They're looking very good. They always do, though. They always do. So the last thing I do is I just take a couple tablespoons of butter and melt it down, and then I just brush a little on top while they're warm. It just kind of gives them a little bit of a sheen and just makes them just that much tastier. When you're done with that, I let them cool for just a few minutes on the tray itself before I move them into a cooling rack. All right, the bread's all done and cool. I cut the pesto one open so that you can kind of see that's how they kind of turn out with that nice swirl in there. Yeah, I'm excited to try the pesto one because like I've said, I've never made it with that. This bread is really soft and light. I just really like it. All right, so I cut me a slice. That's really good. Got some on my shirt. Oh, yeah, I like that. Good. I like pesto, but that bread is just really good too. So again, cinnamon, lemon, you do you. So I've had that Commercial KitchenAid for about a year now. Works great. Double batches are like just super easy with it. Love it. I think it is worth every penny. It's not cheap. When I bought it, it was about $7.50. So yeah, it's an investment, but it seems to be working really well, and I don't hesitate to use it for all of my heavy mixes, and I use it quite regularly. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer as many as I can. And yeah, subscribe, like, share, and I will see you next week.